Yeah, well, we're live as per usual on Monday mornings. We start with a quick little New York Giants recap, even though they haven't really been good in 5 years. But yesterday, they almost looks like they were going to beat the Rams. But there was also a ton of headlines this weekend with the markets and just with the world in general. Everything with Trump and with the NFL, a lot of players testing positive, and seems like the games are continuing to go on. The Patriots Chiefs was the big news when Cam Newton tested positive, and they pushed back the game until, as of now, it's tonight. Apparently, no other players tested positive except for Cam Newton. I'd be shocked if that remains the case. But as of now, that game got pushed back till tonight. Obviously, Trump, as soon as the markets closed on Friday, was taken to the hospital and was given a Regeneron cocktail, was given, I think, the AstraZeneca one as well, and apparently is doing pretty well. I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on everything happening right now? Obviously, futures point to a higher open. It's almost like it was the perfectly staged situation where Trump gets the coronavirus, the markets kind of dropped Friday. They wait until the markets close to announce that they're bringing him to the hospital. And then 45 minutes before the futures open last night, they announced that Trump's probably going to get released today. And they have him go on this little barricade where they put him in a car with a couple other people, which was good, and driving around. And here we are.
Yeah, I think
the fiasco the last 72 hours.
You mentioned the two stocks, Regeneron and Gilead, were the two main ones that.
Oh, I said AstraZeneca. My bad.
Yeah, I mean I kind of think all of them will do well because these two drugs that he received from these companies obviously was impressive. The problem is, I was listening to Scott Gottlieb on CNBC, is there's not going to be a big supply of this. If you want to get this drug or this combination, you either have to be in a trial where you have a 1 in 3 chance of not getting it because you get a placebo, or you're not going to get it. There's very special cases that they'll give it to, government officials. You just would have to be really lucky to be able to get the drug. Just a side note there.
Yeah, it seems to me like this is just going to be prolonged longer than people think with the stay-at-home mentality. We're not going to see it normal again until the summer, probably.
Yeah, well, I think they put most of their thinking into getting the vaccine with a lot of doses for that, rather than the bridge to the vaccine, which are these drugs. So I think that's more the direction that we're heading, is get that vaccine, and then they're going to have enough doses to go around as soon as that drug or the vaccine is approved. But today it's good for the market because they want Trump to be okay, because the market hates when a leader is down and out. They do not do well. You can look historically, whenever presidents have gotten sick or attempted assassinations, you name it, the market never does well for that short period of time.
Yeah, Trump's fine. He's going to be, it sounds like, back in the White House here in the next day or so.
Yeah, and the other side of it is that the latest polls are showing Biden with a much bigger lead. And I think the market is getting comfortable with the idea that if it's a big enough lead, then there's not going to be a question about the election results. And they like that. They may not like Biden winning, but they like the idea of a result. So we'll see how that plays out.
I mean, Dad, do you trust the opening here? It looks like the market's going to pop again. And, if you take away the whole Trump thing entirely, it just leaves us back to where we were, let's call it Thursday, where we're sitting on our toes waiting for a stimulus. And it seems like the COVID was starting to die out. Obviously, this weekend it threw us a wrench with not just Trump, but a ton of people tested positive.
Well,
So
you tested negative, though.
I tested negative. That's true. And everyone I've been around tested negative. So yeah, the COVID continues to be very confusing because I tested positive last week and thought it was a mistake and then got tested again and it ended up being negative. Anyone I've been around in the last 5 days is also tested negative. So I'm starting to just think that might have been a false positive, even though they claim that there's no false positive. That's what the one doctor said, and that the tests are 97% accurate. One thing I do know is DraftKings did an offering this morning of like 30 plus million shares, and their stock is down almost $3 on the news. You can make the argument that stock might have sold off anyway today, just off of the uncertainty of what's going on with the NFL, and all the other sports are basically over now. I mean, what are your guys' thoughts? Do you think there's any chance the NFL actually cancels their season with what's been going on?
I don't think so.
No, too much money.
Yeah, they'll get through it. Most of the games have been successful, and they rescheduled the one canceled game for, I think, late October. They're going to do everything they can to make it work, unless the players revolt.
Or unless today, 10 other players on the Panthers, or not the Panthers, the Patriots, test positive. I find it hard to believe if Cam Newton's positive, like nobody else on the entire team is.
Maybe he has a false positive.
That's what I was starting to actually think. You never know. But
obviously these tests are not foolproof. I mean, we don't even know what to do with yours. Okay, you're positive, you're negative. What the hell are you? It's like, it's really crazy. And Mom and I obviously got tested off of you thinking that you had it, and we tested negative, but is that real also? And Mike, you're probably, if you got tested today, you'd probably be negative.
100%. I don't have this anymore.
But I don't know how long it lingers.
Yeah.
And then how long are you still spreading it, if at all?
Yeah.
So the questions, right?
Well, another COVID-related headline is Disney reported that they're remaining closed their entire resort for the time being. I think just the one in California, not Disney World, but Disneyland.
Yeah, which is real interesting because I think it's partly, if not all, political, because the Florida Disney, which had worse numbers, that area of Florida, hasn't had any cases related to having it open because they've done such a great job. So the fact that California couldn't look at that and say, you know what, Disney's done a great job, let's make an exception and let them open. It's kind of a political thing, I believe. Add it to the list.
Add it to the list, indeed. I don't know what, I'm going to plug them in because I don't know what Disney's trading at this morning, but yeah, they're actually up a little. They're up 55 cents, which I don't know if this was announced today or this weekend, but I know we've talked about Disney a lot over the last couple of weeks on here. Mike, you picked some up last week, right?
No, I didn't get more yet. I'm still waiting to add to my position. I picked up some Spotify on Friday.
Gotcha.
I'm on Spotify. I like Spotify.
I wanted to get in on that one.
Yeah, that's always one to think about.
Starbucks got an upgrade from Oppenheimer this morning.
Oppenheimer, yeah, 101.
They are
like Dunkin' Donuts.
Starbucks isn't really moving much on that news. They might, just super low volume right now, but they're up 80 cents. Mike, what's Dunkin' been doing?
Killing it. They're moving steady. I mean, I'm long a good amount of that. It's been
They're
a nice
actually down $1.50 this morning. I wonder if that has something to do with the Starbucks upgrade.
Good buying opportunity. I mean, their chart's just been phenomenal.
Yeah, and there was news on Plug. I'm trying to see if I could find it now. I saw it earlier, but that stock's up large again, new high. There's talk of just a ton of spending in the hydrogen area. And I think that's even going to get another boost if Biden wins. Hydrogen could be the future of power in the country. It's better than a lot of these other vehicles. Maybe better than electric. So if people start going, well, electric, what about hydrogen? Plug might be one of those companies that really has a move.
And it seems
So are you buying it again?
I'm long a little bit still, but it's interesting. It's one of these stocks that, given the right circumstances, might get a hyperbolic move at some point.
When did you get long on Plug again?
Early last week. Remember, I talked about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Not that they're not that they're specifically in the EV space, but all those stocks are looking like they're getting looks this morning. Workhorse, Neo, Tesla, they're all up today. Let's see what Nikola's doing. I mean, everything seems to be up today. Nikola's another one. Nikola's been just crazy. It went on a rocket ship last week. I don't know if part of that was because GM said that they're going to take a bigger stake, which kind of validates Nikola, or if it was just a huge short squeeze. But that stock's now back over $25.
Yeah, but it was funny. That GM story, if you recall, was they were getting 11% for doing what they said they would do for Nikola. And we talked about the fact that the stock dropped so much that 11% wasn't really worth it to GM to do all the things they were going to say. So they're going to probably go for a bigger stake. And for some reason, the market took that as a positive. I kind of look at it as a negative for the company because they're forcing Nikola to give them more shares.
Well, I guess the positive is it validates Nikola. Like, had GM completely walked away.
Yeah, I still don't think it costs GM anything to go along with this. And they're getting more for their money, which I don't even think they're putting up any money.
Yeah, no, I know. And then, not that they're specifically in this space, but Ford looks like they're starting to trend back up. I think the CEO took over. Was it Friday or Thursday? He officially took over.
Yeah, I think Thursday, October 1 is probably when they.
Yeah, now, the CTO's gone. It seems like they're trying to shake things up over at Ford. And hopefully that stock continues to make its way up. I know we all own a little bit. And Bob, same with X. That stock seems to be doing well. It's trading at $7.75 this morning.
On some X.
Yeah, the cyclicals were strong Friday. And I think there was one rumor after another about the stimulus again. And those stocks were doing well off of that. I still don't know what Nancy Pelosi's quite up to. I think she's hoping that Trump is just going to go along with her $2.2 billion and
$2.2
trillion, and then the Senate's going to go along with Trump. I don't see it.
Isn't it the other way around, where first the Senate needs to go along before they even bring it to Trump? And
no, I mean, it's a three-way circus, right? So if Trump says he's cool with Pelosi, he's got to convince Mitch McConnell. And then McConnell's got to convince a lot of Republican senators to go along with it. I find that hard to believe, but maybe this experience that Trump just went through changes his mind. I doubt it.
Yeah, right.
It might. Yeah. Dad, what are your thoughts on DraftKings this morning? You think they'll just burn right through this offering like Penn did a few weeks ago?
Yeah, eventually. I mean, it's incredible to me. Every time these high flyers, they go, there's an offering coming. It's just a matter of what day. And I know the shorts that play these names are thinking about that, and they're not able to cover their shorts at a profit when the offering finally comes, because there's so many people interested in these stocks.
What do you mean, though? I mean, the stock's down almost 5%. If you're short, you're.
Yeah, but I think some of these names, I'm not sure about Donkey Kong in itself, but people are short these things for tens of points because they think they're overvalued. And a 3-4 point move in one day is not what they're looking for.
They
Yeah,
are
You know,
overvalued.
it's gone way beyond that now.
no,
So
I hear you. And
these secondaries give the shorts a chance to buy back their shares, but they don't always get the shares. You know, the hedge funds are sometimes left out of those offerings. And
yeah, and if it's anything like Penn, DraftKings is going to be down today, and then that's it. They'll be right back to where they were, and this could be an epic buying opportunity. But I still think that they're one of the most overvalued companies in the entire stock market, and they're basically baking in every person in the world developing a serious gambling problem and being like addicted to those platforms.
They are way overbought. It's insane. Like these stocks are both going to come down at least 25%.
You would think, but the question is, do they go up another 50 before they come down 25?
No way. They're already overbought.
oh, no.
Yeah,
Off of what? Like what would they be going up on that parabolical train off of what mentality?
just off of it trending in that direction, and probably shorts continuing to be wrong. And
15 states legalized sports gaming. I mean, who knows what, you know.
They let everyone just have free bets for the next year where you just, no matter what, are able to gamble. Like, I don't really see these things are going to come down. I'll get back in them, but not here at all.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a great group to follow. It's great day trading. But to think it's a solid investment at these levels, it's really tough. I think you're probably better off looking back at the big names like Wynn and Vegas Sands.
MGM.
At some point, you know, when the virus is solved, those things will probably be a double if they're still in business.
yeah, I still think one of those companies could acquire Penn, and it would make a lot of sense.
Well, Wynn just did a deal with GAN, which is another one of these sites, and I think to do iGaming in Michigan. I mean, I didn't know Michigan even had online gambling. Or maybe it's right around the corner. I don't know.
What else you guys looking at this morning?
What about you, Mike? You like anything? You like Spotify, huh?
Well, yeah, I bought some of that Friday. I mean, I'm monitoring Beyond, trying to find another entry point to get back in that.
God, that's been such a hot stock lately.
Yeah, I got out last week at 169.10.
Nice trade. Really
Yeah.
nice trade.
What's that?
Really good trade.
Yeah, you know, I'm definitely planning on getting back in it. So
Mike,
that
what
and still
what level would you get back and beyond?
probably 155.
155.
In a disastrous market, you could see that thing come down to 127.
I would love that.
Tough to imagine a disastrous market, even though I still think you might get a sell-off at open here. You know, I keep seeing all these headlines in Europe. This just reminds me of February all over again. Don't get me wrong. I don't think we're going to actually shut down. And even if we were to shut down parts of the economy, we wouldn't see the crash that we saw in February because there wouldn't be that unknown factor. But it seems like Europe's kind of going back into lockdown mode. And I just don't see how there isn't at least some sort of pressure on the market at some point here this month because of what's going on with COVID.
Maybe Trump will put in a mandatory mask. Wouldn't that be something?
It's such a tough thing to like enforce in a legal way. But yeah, I don't really see that happening. But I'm just wondering, you know, is the market it almost seems like there's been this theme lately where however the market opens, that's kind of, I don't want to say the high of the day, but almost. I'd be shocked if the market rallies today. I personally think it's going to sell off within a half hour to an hour of being open. And
yeah, you know, and part of the reason we talk about this every day is the dollar is weak today. You know, I think they went to the dollar on the panic of who's the leader here. And now that's over with, and Europe's having problems, so they buy the dollar. I mean, they they just go back to that trade where the stimulus is coming, so they sell the dollar. And I don't know if the stimulus is coming or not, but the banks are strong today, and you mentioned some of the other industrial names. I know that's going to be the big question on that stimulus.
Yeah, and the banks were one of the few sectors that were green on Friday when the market was selling off. I don't know if you could really look too much into that because they've been basically stuck in neutral since February. Like I'm looking at JP Morgan, it's at 98.
Yeah. And the oils were also strong Friday with weak oil. So these stocks have been down, I don't know how many weeks in a row. It's almost because there's no one left in them that they go up. You know, it's just the way it works. When things get so bad and everyone's out, there's only one direction it could go. It's up. It's like when every analyst has an underweight on a stock. What's next? I raise it to a neutral, right?
Yeah.
So that's what you're getting in some of these oil names today and Friday. And I don't know how far that goes, but that's another sector that looks to be okay today.
I like it. Let's see if there's any.
Yeah, I'm finally out of my BP. I'm done with that crap.
Yeah, and I think that's been the attitude of a lot of people in these oils is enough. And that's why you're not getting the continual selling anymore because everyone's out or people are so underweight that there's no more room, at least short term.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. And Regeneron's obviously on the move this morning. That stock looks like it's going to have a good day, which makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, and it was upgraded off of all this. Some broker upgraded it.
Yeah, the president's taking their cocktail to try and get over the COVID, so they should be up. That shows how far ahead of everyone else they must be.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, you still own Bud Light?
No.
Because I see you there on the volume scanner for a stock that's moving this morning.
Pleasure. I haven't owned them in a long time.
Let's see if they have any news. I guess they're not really trading on much volume.
I bought Honeywell again Friday too.
Nice. And the other name that I keep seeing pop up is Eric.
Of course.
What is Eric?
That was that.
Ericsson.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I got out of that in the 11s. It hasn't even gotten back to where I sold it.
Yeah, that's been a disappointment since it had that big run up.
Since I got out of it. That's why.
The world heard that you exited the position.
When I usually get out of stocks, they just hit a wall until
How is Zillow doing? Has it gotten
it's doing great. 108.
115?
108.
It's not at 115.
It's got another 7 points to go to make the 115 rule after 100.
And then it'll go back to like 90, probably 88 or something. I'll get back in Zillow hard on that actual pullback.
It's really been my best stock probably in the last month is Zillow with just.
By the way, Peloton is the exact same chart as Zillow. It hit 100, and it's a race to 115. This thing got to 110 and a quarter.
Yeah, Peloton's been a beast, and we kind of called it on Friday that this was going to be the first name to turn green after the market started selling off with the Trump results because it was the stay-at-home names. Peloton ended up ripping on Friday.
Yeah, and Zoom, which we keep talking about being short or shorting, is really grinding along here around 500, but not breaking through the old high of 529 3/4.
I mean, it's so overbought, Zoom. It's crazy.
It just is so ridiculous, but you got to respect it.
Yeah, you also have to respect the fact that they're going to naturally get caught up in any COVID play. So if the stay-at-home stocks start getting a look, even if they are overbought, you can kind of make a case for Zoom going higher.
Zoom, even the other day when I was on with CU, there was a glitch. Every time I'm on that platform, it goes down during my hangout without any fail.
I think Boeing could try to get to 180. It's acting very well.
That would be kind of a new level for it, at least short term, wouldn't it?
Well, the 180 level is the 200-day moving average for Boeing, or is it the 100? I don't know what I have in my system right now.
Right now it's at 169. Yeah, I mean, it seems like anytime Boeing drops below 165, it's a buy.
Yeah, I think
There's short-term swings, even though I never actually sell it once it pops.
it is a great trading stock, like 10-point moves, but
So is Microsoft, even though I haven't been doing that either. But yeah, that stock has been going back and forth between 205 and 212, just giving you $7 to $8 swings almost every couple days. I haven't been playing them because every time it makes that move to 212, I think to myself like, oh, this is the time that it's gonna really get going, and then it doesn't. But
yeah, the more I think about Microsoft and Apple are a source of funds and profit taking for all different types of situations. The mutual funds, it's a great source of funds, so they could raise cash when people are coming out of their funds. And the capital gain issue if Biden wins, I mean, these two stocks basically represent what's going on in all the big tech names, with the huge profits that people have and are going to have to make a decision on before the end of the year. And look, most people will not sell, they'll wait and just let their capital gains continue. But there will be a certain number of people that'll want to take those profits this year.
yeah, definitely makes sense. Any final picks of the day that you guys are looking at here for even just like a day or a swing trade?
I'll probably look at Beyond. They move a lot throughout the day. So I've been trying to start day trading that a bit. I haven't really, the last couple of weeks with being sick, it's been tough to be in that mode.
Keep an eye on Carrier, which we've talked about before. It's making new highs today. And that's the air conditioner company with all the good filtering systems.
What's the symbol?
CARR.
CARR. This stock feels to me like it just wants to chug along here. It's really good for a lingering virus because as people, as buildings try to reopen, they're going to need these filters to reassure people that the air quality is excellent.
So is that a good one to jump on today?
Not to jump on. I mean, look for your levels because it does move between 30 and 31 and a half.
How about Vuzi?
Vuzi keeps getting good news, so let's see what that could do.
That stock feels like it's possibly ready to break out in a whole nother way.
It does. I know. I want to get back in that. I'm going to buy some
Vuzi, right?
That just seems like that stock we're going to look back on. It's going to be trading at $13.
Yeah,
it has that name. You could just see it.
Even if you look at short-term chart, it looks like it could easily make 5 really at any point on just pop.
Yeah, I'm buying Vuzi right here at the open.
I love it, Mike. I still haven't gotten any Vuzi, but it's
waiting for that debacle where it trades down to 3.
It made me good money last week on a swing trade.
Yeah, well, that's the way to play these things because the way that chart is, it goes up big and then it just falls right back down. And it takes a long time to get back to those levels.
And just to throw another name that I've been talking about nonstop that is on a rocket ship, Jesus, Fiverr is now at 158.
Wow.
I don't know why I sold that.
They are announcing their third quarter results on October 28th.
They are talking about that stock is just, it's hard to fathom like where that thing is going to fall.
The thing is, though, when I look at Fiverr, I try and not look at the chart and I look at the market cap. And that's where I'm like, you know what? This stock has so much room to go. It could be a nice acquisition target. I know the chart has run up like crazy, and usually companies are fairly valued when they actually go public, but this company deserves a way higher market cap than they have. That was my original thought process with Penn. Even now it's starting to get a little dicey, but you could look at the chart or you could just sit back and look at the market cap and think to yourself, okay, is this actually fairly valued? Or is a company like Fiverr, are they eventually going to be a 50, $60 billion company? In my opinion, yeah, they are. And that's where that company is just getting started with their chart, I think.
Yeah, could be.
So I guess we'll end it on that. Buy Fiverr, but maybe not today.
They're
Yeah.
saying Trump's bored watching TV at Walter Reed, angry at how the illness is being covered.